Let's go. Booyaka, booyaka. Oh, come on, man. Booyaka, booyaka. It's okay, things happen for. Let's go. It's a me, Mario. Gotta remember to sign into my Twitch chat so I can talk about this. It's on the request line. Body bodito. I am painting Marvel Crisis Protocol. Oh, if you're here, thank you for watching. I'm very excited to be doing this. Please take a look at my sponsors. Space Cadets Gaming and the Aegis Creative Company. Oops, sorry. Can't hear me? It's because I forgot to put my microphone on. I swear, I'm getting more and more professional as we go on. Don't worry, I'm still here. Just going to give it a few minutes so my friends and family can join. If you're watching, welcome to the Big Bad Nerd Fam. Very excited to have you here. We do have subtitles. Please disregard the stream title. I'm not painting the lizard today. I am painting Rhino. Done. On the fly, changed it. Booyaka, booyaka. All right. Now I got it open. Hope this works. I wish I knew. I wish I knew you wanted me. Boom boom, let me hear you say wayo. Boom boom, let me hear you say wayo. Audience participation is not mandatory but appreciated. If you have not gone to the bathroom, I suggest you do it because we're in for a very long painting session. Not really. The model we're painting today is going to be fairly simple, but I'm hoping to spruce it up quite a bit. Make it look extra good. Make sure you grab a glass of water. I need something to cut that background noise. My laptop is out for some. Oh, and we've hit our 5-minute mark, so here we go. Blah! Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in today. We will be painting some Marvel Crisis Protocol. I've chosen, I didn't choose actually, I put it up for a vote on my Big Bad Nerd Dad Facebook page. And the people have voted and expressed their want for the Rhino. I'm a Rhino. Gore, gore, gore. That's what that means when you see I'm a Rhino. Gore, gore, gore. Very excited to be painting the Rhino. It was a landslide victory. I didn't even have a choice. I wanted to paint the Kingpin because I'm playing my buddy Joe this Thursday. I have to use the Criminal Syndicate because I've beaten him 5 times with Spider Foes. I've become very good with Spider Foes. I've decided to play with the Criminal Syndicate, the other half of my group that I have of the models available. But before I get into painting the Rhino, I wanted to give a shout out to all my friends and family that have watched the stream. I just found out today that I was awarded the Rising Star Creator, uh, content creator, like Rising Star Content Creator by Facebook. It basically means that I have been getting people to watch me interact. I've been interacting more on Facebook, and it looks good, right? It makes them see that I'm doing something that people like, and that I'm doing a good job of keeping up with it. And I was really afraid getting back into streaming that I would fall back into my being kind of lazy and not doing it as much as I could. But I've been. This is my 4th Monday in a row. Right, it's the last Monday of January. I've done a very good job of keeping up with it. Everybody's done a very good job of commenting and liking and sharing on the Facebook page. So I'm very thankful for all my friends and family that have stepped up and helped me make this the best that it can be. I'm very thankful, very, very thankful, because I love doing this. I love painting, I love hobbying, I love playing board games, and I want to share that with as many people as I can, because it is something, it's a hobby that is, yeah, become bigger and bigger over the past few years, but I've been doing it for so long now that it's really a love and a passion of mine, and I'm very thankful that I can do this on stream and with my friends and with my family, and I can't wait to do it for charity later this year. For Labor Day, Memorial Day, and Black Friday, right, over the Thanksgiving holiday. Craig, thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. Thanks for giving me a like. Um, I can see everything that people do on Twitch and Facebook. I can't see everybody on YouTube. I'm still figuring that one out. But if you like me, or if you say something or do something on Facebook and Twitch, I can see it here, and I'm definitely going to say thank you. All right. So first, what I'd like to do is go over to the models that I've painted this month. Technically, I finished Carnage on the first Monday of the month. My buddy Joe and my buddy James got a piece of him this past Friday when we played at Board and Brew. He's a fun model. I'm not going to say I modified him, but he has more arms than he should. And I wanted that because he is very much a wicked attacker. Really enjoy using him. So I'm going to be using him more often. He saved me a lot. On the second week, I painted Craven the Hunter. He came out very well. I'm very proud of him. I really do need to dry brush their bases to give them a little bit of detail. I'll be doing that today as well. The last stream that everybody voted on, the lizard, painting this guy was very intimidating because there's so much detail, there's so much going on with the base. But I really enjoyed doing it. Painting the white wasn't that hard. Was it as hard as I had made it out to be in my mind? I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it really was. But I'm going to give it another go later this week, painting white with the Kingpin. So just for size comparison, 1 second. 1 second, I see you. Rhino, whoops. There's a lot that goes into this streaming stuff. Right. Okay, so I got it all set up. We're good to go. Let me show you size comparison. So the general small base character, this is Taskmaster. I'm going to paint him in my free time. He's not going to stay in the team for too long. I'm hoping that they're going to drop Shocker and Vulture here pretty soon, and he'll be replaced with one of those two. That's a basic character. It's got a 35mm base. Then there are other characters like Venom. You can tell he's got a much larger base. He's a much larger character. And then we have Rhino, who is, I mean, he dwarfs them. He's at a massive base like Dormammu or who's the other one? Dormammu or oh my gosh, the Sentinels. They're very big base models, but he's the largest model that I have for Marvel Crisis Protocol. So he's going to take a bit to paint. He's going to take a while to paint. I want to send a big shout out to my nerd bros, James and Joe. They played Marvel Crisis Protocol with me this past Friday at Board and Brew Games here in Houston, Texas, Humboldt, Texas, technically. We played a free-for-all match using the Separation Anxiety kit, and it was a blast. James and I ended up tying for first place. Joe just missed out by 1 point. It was James's first game, and he did a phenomenal job. Phenomenal. Let's see if I can angle this camera now. There we go. That'll do. Alright, so we will be painting the Rhino. And if you haven't seen the Rhino, he is very bland. He's going to be all gray. It's going to take a lot of dry brushing to get these really nice effects off of him. I don't know if you can see on his chest. He's got this model has hide imprints all over it. Hide details on the shoulder, hide details. His horn has little striations in them, little marks. So they look like toenails of the horn. He has little rhino toenails. He looks like a legitimate rhino. And I really like this more organic suit. I'm glad they went with this rhino than the mechanical rhino. The mechanical rhino is a little off to me. And that's okay, right? Everybody has their different likes. It's just all dependent on what each person wants, right? What they want out of the game, what they want out of the model. And then there are tons of other proxy models you could use. You could get a mechanical rhino, and as long as you have the real one readily available, you should be able to just swap it out. So I've already primed it black. I did my Zenthal highlighting. You can see on the bottom side, it's dark in some areas. Then I hit it at a different angle with a white primer, just very lightly, to bring out the different highlights and edges and stuff. And we are going to actually make the gray that I want, because I don't have the gray readily available for what he needs to be. So I'm going to take a dark warm gray. There we go. A dark warm gray. And I'm going to be mixing it with a ivory. I don't want it to be straight white. I want it to be a little off. So we'll be using the Monument Hobbies Pro Acryl paints. You can get these from any of your local tabletop gaming stores. They're going to carry. Hey Joe, thanks for saying hey. Thanks for watching. You can pick up the Pro Acryl by Monument Hobbies from my local gaming stores are Space Cadets Gaming, Hidden Games and Hobbies, Fat Ogre, Board and Brew. Like they're all located very close to each other. We're very blessed to have such an assortment of stores that we can just be like, oh, let's go play at a game store. Boop, pop right out. Plenty of options to go to. If you can't do that, Space Cadets Gaming does have an online presence, and you can buy things off of their website. I highly recommend buying. If you can't buy local, then buy from small businesses that help keep the game and hobby stores in business. It really makes a difference to people like me who get a chance to go out and play in these hobby stores and support them. But again, I really like the Pro Acryl line because they have a glass bead inside there to help mix the paint up real good. This is a technique that my mother showed me. She didn't show me specifically for miniature painting. It's whenever she went to go paint her nails, she would, instead of shaking the nail polish, she would roll it in her hands, and that kind of stops bubbles from forming because you don't want bubbles. Bubbles be bad. So just roll it around in your hands, just like I'm doing. James, if you're watching, this is it. ASL Baron. Hey Mike, watching while doing work stuff. Oh, ASL Baron, thanks for watching and while doing work stuff. What was that? Let me switch over to multi-stream. Was that via Twitch or was that via YouTube? ASL Baron, are you on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook? Because you're not popping up on any of my feeds. But I saw it. That's got to be YouTube. All right, so one of the things I love most about these Monument Hobbies is that the paint, the Pro Acryl paints for Monument Hobbies, is that the paint flows really well. They come in these dropper bottles, so I can put the exact amount of paint that I want and mix. Now disregard my very messy paint tray. Shake, 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 shake. Twist, 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 twist. Give it a little twist, give it a little shake. Again, I'm just rolling it in my hands back and forth, back and forth. Give it a few abrupt shakes like that, then flip it over, do it again. You know, if you're painting every day or if you're painting every couple of days, you don't have to do this as often. I can't remember the last time I've used some of these colors, so I just want to be safe. I don't want it to come out watery or separated, right? Paint separates if you let it sit for too long. So I want to make a lot of this gray, so I'm going to put 4 drops of my ivory. This is off-white. Yes, Pro Acryl did just come out with some new washes. They hadn't had washes before, so Pro Acryl they've had these paints for about a little over a year, but they did just come out with some washes for the first time, and I've heard good things about them. I haven't had a chance to try them out yet. They're on my Amazon wish list if anybody wants to go check that out. But I am a big fan of the Army Painter Quick Shades, so I use a lot of the Quick Shades. 4 drops of this ivory. Again, watch 1, 2, a little more, 3, 4. Close it up. Then I want to get me some of this dark warm gray. Where is my wet palette? Well, I am not using a wet palette because I am not familiar with the wet palette. And these Pro Acryl paints stay in a very nice fluidy state for a long period of time. All right, so 4 drops of ivory, 2 drops of the dark warm gray, and this is the perfect gray. Mike, I know. I did get a wet palette for Christmas. It will change my life, I know. I did get a wet palette for Christmas, and so I plan on busting it out and learning how to use it properly. I'm also looking to invest into a airbrush. I saw this really neat little table like desk airbrush system. It's rechargeable. It doesn't have a huge big compressor. So I'm excited to pick that up later. It will change your life. All right, so I'm just going to use this basically as a base color for him. And I'm just going to coat him, right, in this gray, this Rhino gray as I call it. I'm not worried about the base right now. I'm just going to paint all over, get good coverage, get in all the nooks and crannies. Get in all the nooks and crannies. This Rhino character is a heavy hitter. My spider foes that I've been using against my friend Joe, I've noticed that all of them have been very good at combat. They're all combat efficient. They all want to get into the mix of it. The Rhino is no exception. My guess is that because he works for Spider Foes and the Criminal Syndicate, he's very much their. Yeah, I do need an airbrush. Because he's their enforcer, he's going to play a big part in helping them out, secure objectives, and keep people off of the objectives, and really probably scaring people away from objectives in match play. You know what? We do need to get together and paint. I've been talking about doing a hobby night at either Space Cadets or Fat Ogre, somewhere close by. See, that's the one thing that's stopping me from getting it. Stopping me from getting an airbrush is that I like to be able to just sit down, paint, set it, forget it. And with an airbrush, you have to clean, you have to. Oh yeah, Joe, get ready for your all healing thing. Joe, when I say that I am only slightly afraid of your defenders list that I help you make, it is just that. I'm only slightly afraid of that defenders list that I help you make. So again, I am just taking this gray and going all over him. A nice base coat. Back up a little bit. Ooh, there we go. Go back in with a detail brush and get around his face. I don't want to get too much because I want to keep those highlights and stuff for when I do the flesh color. That's it. That's his little bitty piece of. I wish I had assembled him on stream because his assembly was crazy. There were so many pieces, and his little face in there, that's a piece. Like it's its own little piece that you set inside the head. The head is 2 pieces. Put it together. The The face is inset in there. This is crazy. This is ridiculous. Why would they do this? But the model's beautiful. There's so much detail on it. There's so much detail on it. There's so much life, right? You can see like the sinew and his muscles. You can see the there's lots of bits of hide parts for you to dry brush over. My dog's over here sneezing. I don't know if you can hear that on the stream. I hear my dog sneezing on the stream. I'm not quite sure what kind of dog he is, so don't ask me. He's a mutt. He looks like a German Shepherd, but he's not a German Shepherd. There you go. And again, anybody watching me paint, you can paint too. Bless you. Shank you. Anybody watching me paint, you can paint. Theo Choco, you go ahead and paint your minis, bro. Why can't you paint your minis? Get out there and paint your minis, bro. Theo Choco, thanks for tuning in on Twitch. I know it's a time thing. I'm very fortunate that my family has gotten into a nice little routine / rhythm. My girls go down at 8. At 7:30. I get stuff together. Start streaming about 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'm trying to get me an actual painting schedule. Oh, anybody can paint, Theo Choco. Anybody can paint. It just takes practice. I know you say you suck, but there's all different types of techniques and little tricks that you can do. Like, look, all I'm doing is painting this bed. Look, you're going to see how simple it is. All I'm doing, I was painting all this weekend. Nice. Latin? Where's Latin? Where's Latin at? That's cool. Brunhilde, could you look at where Latin is? Paint on stream, I know. Trying to hit all the places. Well, I can't attest for the rest of the world, but we're very lucky here. I'm at Theo Choco. No, you don't need no $12, $20 brush. I'm literally using something that I picked up from Walmart. I think it's in Latin America. Cool. Got somebody watching from Latin America. This is a dollar store brush that I'm using to base coat with, and all the brushes that I'm using are Latin America. Oh, I see. Latin America. All the brushes that I basically use, aside from my dry brush, are from Walmart, are from a convenience store, really. I buy a big pack of them for $5, $10. There's like 10, 15 brushes in there, and I just use them till I'm done with them. All right, so boom. I know it'd be a little hard to see because I have white primer on the bottom, but he is completely base coated. in this gray that I made. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my other models, take off. I'm going to dry brush with this brush, with this brush, with this cheap dollar store brush. Put it on my hand, and then just lightly paint over the base. Give it a little splash of color instead of it being so monotone. Bam. Just to give it a little splash color. Walmart doesn't ship to your country. Okay. Most dollar stores, if there's a dollar store in your country, will have a big bag of brushes, or like a. I wish I had saved it. I'll do an episode. I've been wanting to do a what I call trash tier terrain, where I use whatever I have available. Like I have little rolls from work and pieces of plastic card to make terrain and do other things. I would like very much to do that. Oh, he says my buddy says that when we get together, he's gonna have a goodie bag for me. Yeah, this the Rhino is very easy to paint. He is just gray. All right. Again, I'm gonna hit some of these other models with this gray. I completely forgot to give them a nice little dry brush to sort of make these colors pop on their bases, so the bases don't look so one-dimensional. Who else is there? I'll do it with, I don't know. Venom's got it. Carnage. Carnage needs it. Dude, Chico, you do not need expensive brushes. You do not need fancy stuff to paint. I am painting. That's one of the reasons too that I paint on stream using only brushes, not a wet palette, not an airbrush, because I want to show everybody that they can do it too. Right? I'm just using simple dollar store brushes basically to get the effects that I want. You don't need to. Oh, I got like $2. Oh, Stuffed Fables. That's such a fun game. And again, it takes practice. You don't want to start on minis that you like. What I would recommend doing is, again, going to your dollar store, buying some Green Army Men or dinosaurs or something, priming them, and then starting from there. Prime them with the gray, prime them with the black, prime them with the white, and then start painting them just from there, just so you can learn the techniques of how much pressure to apply, how much paint to apply to your brush, things like that. Go back and clean up these models. Oh, we love Unmatched. Yeah, try with the Army Men. I highly recommend that. Just going and buying a little bag of Green Army Men or dinosaurs. I do it with dinosaurs because I use those. Practice, Theo Choco. Practice is all you need to keep it going. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. The more you practice, the better it'll look. And they're not going to look great at first. I mean, I have models from when I first started painting, and they are not up to my current standards. And that's okay, because you have to start somewhere. Even now, I'm going back to models that I've just recently done with new techniques that I've learned to try and make things better, to try and make things closer to what my vision was for these guys. Because it's all a process. It's all learning. Okay, so my Rhino should be ready to add the next color. So what I want to do with the Rhino is I want to take a strong tone, actually a shadow wash, a dark tone. These are, I know it says D&D shadow wash, but these are actually Army Painter quick shades. They just have a different name because they came from a different set that somebody had purchased for me. I'm going to take this shade, it's essentially a wash, give it a nice good roll. Again, instead of shaking your paints, roll them. That way you don't get air bubbles in them when you go to put them into your paint pot, especially your washes and shades, because it'll bubble up real good. Shake, 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 shake. Yeah. ASL Baron 1 is absolutely right. But again, those may not be readily available for him in Latin America. Like you can, I don't recommend using uh, generic acrylic paints. You can get it at a Hobby Lobby or Michaels or things like that to paint the miniatures. Like you're gonna want miniature paints to do that. Like that's the one thing I would recommend spending money on is a good set of paints. All right. Now that I got that, and this again is just a generic dollar store $1 brush. Nothing special about it. I'm going to use this to apply my wash all over. I'm just going to get sloppy. I wanted to get in there to bring out the details in the Rhino. Because after I'm done with this, I'm just going to go back over and dry brush to highlight all those details. Yeah, good point, Joe. Um, Joe says that paint can be expensive, but once you get good paint, especially for miniatures, they go a long way, right? They're going to last you a long time. They're going to last you a lot of miniatures. Like I said, I'm just going to be, this is my technique. I'm just very sloppy. I'm going to get it in there so that it can hit those details. Because I'm just going to go right back over it in a little bit with I'm going to go right back over it in a little bit with Theo Choco. Thank you very much for stopping by and for talking with us for a little bit. If you have any questions or if you need to, Theo Choco, it was a pleasure talking to you. If you can't watch the rest of this, you can always go to my YouTube, Big Bad Nerd Dad. Just Google search Big Bad Nerd Dad. I'm the first hit on YouTube. Uh, if you Google search me, and then you can watch the rest of this painting video. And I have a bunch of painting videos on YouTube. So thank you very much for stopping by, Theo Choco. He's not really my Theo, but you could be. That was neat. I'm gonna get into all his recesses. Because again, I'm just going to dry brush. I'm gonna dry brush this guy a lot with a lot of different grays. He has so much detail. So I know he looks kind of dirty and kind of weird looking, but it's gonna work out just fine. Alright, so we're gonna let that settle for a bit. Oh, Joe, I am so excited for Monster Hunter World, the board game to come in. I cannot tell you how excited I am to paint those miniatures. All the hunters, the details on those monsters are just going to be crazy. Oh, Liquitex is readily available in a lot of places. That's a good idea. All right, so while we wait, we're going to go ahead and start up on his base. I'm going to do a dark warm gray for his base. So we're going to dry brush over that again. Like, I'm very excited to play the Monster Hunter board game, but because I love RPGs, I really want to do a Monster Hunter RPG. Right? We all play different hunter styles, abilities. I think that that's going to be a lot of fun. The gameplay looks fantastic. I'm very excited about the gameplay for Monster Hunter World. But Steamforge just does a really good job with their miniatures. They're very clean. They look good. Getting the Monster Hunter IP was a big hit for them because that's going to give them all kinds of crazy attention for their models. Even more crazy attention for the models. I don't if you haven't seen their Epic Encounters line. They do beautiful work with their Epic Encounters line. I've I've been a fan of Steamforge since they had their sports game Guild Ball. I do not want to talk about Guild Ball. I was very sad. I wasn't very sad. I had a couple of friends that were very sad about Guild Ball ending. It was a fun game. It wasn't a game that I loved, but it was a fun game. I gotta repaint his toes in a little bit. Gotta paint his. He's got this really neat smash effect that I've seen people do a lot of different things with. I've seen people break some of the street terrain that the core box comes with and put it in there. I've seen people crunch. There's a little trash can that comes in the core set. They crunch that trash can and put it in there. Fallen Ink. Thanks for watching, Fallen Ink. Yeah, we've played quite a few. We played through the entire Resident Evil 2 board game. That was a lot of fun. Even played that on stream. I think we played it on stream, or we're going to play it on the stream. Then we all started falling asleep. I'm gonna paint the underside of that stuff with like a brick color. All right. He's drying. He's drying up pretty nice, so we're about to start dry brushing him here pretty soon. Gotta wait for that to dry up. So when I dry brush the Rhino, I want to use a lighter shade of gray, and then I want to mix in some of this tan flesh because he has a very organic Rhino suit for this particular model. So I'm going to get my dry brush out, and my flat brush, and I'm going to use this as a scoop. I'm going to take some of this gray. We don't need a lot because for the especially for dry brushing, you do not need a lot of paint for dry brushing. We're going to make us nice lighter gray with a bit of brown in it. What board game company has the best minis? Joe, that is a very good question. What board game company has the best miniatures? I really like what Steamforge has done. The Resident Evil board games are fantastic. Their Epic Encounters is fantastic. Their Bard Song models are fantastic. Their God tier models are fantastic. I can't wait to watch. I can't wait to see what the Monster Hunter World look in person. I can't wait to hold those up. I'm definitely doing an unboxing video for that. There we go. Do that, and then I'm going to use this brush to mix it. Yeah, exactly what I wanted. Perfect. All right, so as you can see, I took that tan flesh and put a few drops of that into that gray that I made. To just make it a darker tan. I'm just going to take the Rhino. And I'm going to take that super dark gray that I used for the base, put a little bit on his horn. I'm going to dry brush the horn and I want it to look different from his suit. So this will give me the contrast that I need, because his face is going to be tan. Alright. I if you like chibi, models, Ninja Division, Soda Pop Miniatures, Ninja Division makes pretty cute miniatures. I like those. So we're just going to dry brush all over him, bring out those edges. And again, a lot of detail on this model. And just by lightly dry brushing, you're going to bring those details out. Get it across his chest. Get across all those muscles. He's got rippling muscles. That's why I just slathered that wash on, because this dry brush technique will hide all the raised areas that I did. Look at that horn. No, it's hard to see. Oop. And so one of the biggest things I learned last year was that I was dry brushing wrong. I was using a towel to take the moisture out of the paint that I was trying to use to dry brush, and that just doesn't let it look good. Right? You just want to get the paint on the raised edges as best you can. Without actually painting the entirety of the model, right? Because he's got all these little hide pieces. Knowing the right amount of pressure to apply. I'm getting exactly the effect that I want out of it. I'm very happy with this technique. That dry brush, using that dry brush. Again, this is a very simple model. It's all dry brush. I based it in that gray I washed it with that dark tone. I am dry brushing the mess out of him. Pick up a little bit of paint, go back, take it off on the palette itself so that it doesn't take any of the moisture out of my paint. Getting just the raised areas. And again, the models are just so detailed and so well done that it practically paints itself. Beautiful model. Simple. I am going to take some of that tan flesh. Give me a little drop. Again, one of the reasons I love these Pro Acro bottles is that I can just go, oop, nice and easy. I don't need a lot. Grab a fine detail brush, loop it. Go back in there and paint his face. Last of Us is really good. Fallen Ink's been talking about it a lot. Alright, Fallen Ink, what are you working on tonight? I know you're painting. Fallen Ink is my buddy James. James and Joseph Rees and I played a game Friday night that I talked about at the beginning of the stream. Just getting in the little bits of his face with this dark tone. Cover that up a bit. There we go. I'm gonna need the ittiest amount of black. Painting eyes is not my forte. Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales? Nice, bro. Joe, your day's coming. Your day is coming. Joe says over on Facebook that he's lost every week to me. He even lost on Friday to James and I. Okay. About to grab my metallic pony. Oh, so there we go. There's a manhole. You know what? What do you got? Burnt sienna. There we go. Burnt red. Oh no! Did you rake the? Fallen Ink says that he was painting Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen over on Twitch and says uh, the models can be very delicate. I can only assume he broke one of them. And he's absolutely right. Some of these models are very finicky. They have little bitty things you gotta watch out for. I'm gonna paint the underside like a red, like he's punching into clay, and then I'm gonna go back over it with that gray brown that I made, that gray tan. I brush that. And I'm done with the Rhino. The Rhino's finished. That'll just be painting the base. Oh, he fixed it good. Lizzie fixed it. Joe, to continue in on that question that you asked about board game companies that make good miniatures, one of my favorite miniatures company is War Cradle, and they're currently doing the Wild West Exodus. I love those models. Love. I think they're fantastic. They look great. So I need to paint that manhole cover, dry brush the concrete, paint this curb. Don't need a lot. Again, these Pro Acro paints, a little bit of paint will get you a long way. There's my flat brush. Round. My flat brush go? It disappeared. There it is. I don't know if War Cradle does board games, but I really do enjoy their miniatures. You know, Atomic Mass Games, the people who make Marvel Crisis Protocol, are coming out with a Star Wars uh, skirmish game. It's like Marvel Crisis Protocol, not the same. The rules are a little bit different. They've got different dice. Don't ask me anything about the rules. I'm still figuring out Marvel Crisis Protocol, but they're a bit different. But the models for their Star Wars skirmish game look fantastic as well. I do look at it last time. One of the things I love to do is wash the bases. You see, I'm going to put this dark tone in all the crevices, around his feet, in the cracks, and then just sort of smear it across the base itself. Because the city streets of New York are not clean. Evidently, they're cleaner than the city streets of Houston, Texas, but take that with a grain of salt. I don't feel like that was an independent study. I'm definitely going to be putting some yellow on that curb. Just a lot going on. That's a lot of gray going on with Rhino. Dark tone. So first Fallen Ink's question on Twitch, Fallen Ink asked, out of all the minis I painted for Marvel Crisis Protocol, which one was my favorite and which one was my least favorite to paint? Venom was my favorite to paint because he's my favorite character. And my least favorite to paint is probably Hobgoblin, the Green Goblin, because he has this huge smoke plume. He has this huge smoke plume that you have to paint, and it's kind of a pain. Painting smoke can be a bit of a challenge. All right. Okay, now that I've done all that, we're going to let that dry a little bit. I'm going to pick up my dry brush, grab some of that brown gray. There are a few spots I noticed that I missed. The best part about dry brushing is you can get a little heavy-handed with it, and it just sort of brings out different details that you didn't notice before. Give it another once over. Hit different parts. Rhino is definitely the easiest one that I've done. Joe, Unmatched does have great miniatures, but I don't think that they're as nice as a normal miniature making company. The game is fantastic, right? And that's what they focused on. The miniatures are okay. Um, I really do like Team Forge is definitely going to be my favorite miniatures manufacturer. Okay, so I did that dry brush. Now I'm going to dry brush the base. Getting into all these little recesses. And hitting all the high spots. And Atomic Mass Games has done such a wonderful job with their miniatures, their bases even have a lot of detail on them. So when you dry brush them, you can actually see stuff. Ooh. I want to get that brown. And so I painted the underside of these rocks burnt red is what it's called. You take the brown and dry brush over that. Mint. Give it sort of like a clay look. Dry clay. did not notice that his little suit had rhino eyes. So I'm going to paint little dots on his rhino eyes. It's very weird. It's a very weird, very organic rhino suit. But it is very, very detailed and I love it. Okay. I'm going to give it one final dry brush. About gray. Very light gray. So as I'm finishing up this model, I'm going to paint the curb yellow. I'm actually probably just going to dry brush it a little yellow. I'm very excited. We have a friend of the stream who wants to sponsor some content. I love a game called Frostgrave. The creator of Frostgrave, Joseph McCullough, has created a bunch of other games as well. One of the more famous ones is called Rangers of Shadow Deep. But he's also created another game called Silver Bayonet, which is a Monster Hunter-esque, but not in the sense of the video game, more in the sense of Van Helsing. There's vampires and things like that. It's a supernatural war game. I'm very excited to try that out. He's picked up a copy of the rules for Silver Bayonet for me, and I know that I love Frostgrave, so I'm very interested in watching and trying out. Oh, it's not the right move. Silver Bayonet. That's what I want. There's just so much gray going on with this model. I want to paint. I need a pop of color. So we're going to paint this curb yellow. And I'm okay with it looking a little streaky. It gives it like a dingy look, I feel. It's dingy like dirty, not dingy like Chainsaw Man. Right. That gives it a little pop of color. Clean my flat brush out. So I want to thank my good friend who is sponsoring some content. Again, if you would like to sponsor some content, I have an Amazon wish list on my Facebook page. Just throw something my way. If you want to see me review an RPG, review a war game, review a board game, and I don't have it in my library, let me know. Let's work something out. I'd be more than happy to pick up and try something that you want me to try. I'm going to be playing Silver Bayonet. I'm going to try out Morkboard. Morkborg is an RPG. Silver Bayonet is a war game. Three. Fine. Gonna go and patch up spots that I don't think need too much of that. Dry brush. So like Joe. Joe was the one who got me into Marvel Crisis Protocol. He picked up Marvel Crisis Protocol for my birthday in 2021. It's taken us over a year to get into it, and now I'm in love with it. Painting the miniatures, playing the game. So I'm always open to see what my friends and family want me to try out as far as board games, war games, RPGs. I'll be doing a review on Morkborg. I'll be doing a review. I didn't get you. Joe, you got me the core rule set. Joe's over on Facebook and he's saying that I got him into Marvel Crisis Protocol. No, I got you into wargaming and RPGs. Like, I got you into that kind of stuff. I did not get you into Marvel Crisis Protocol. You bought me the core set and then I started to do it. And I'll do that with anything. Like my good friend is picking me up Silver Bayonet and Morkborg, so I'm going to try that out, do a review on it, because I love painting, playing, and getting into the nitty gritty of the game. I'm very excited to see where we go. See if I can fit in more. Here are my spider foes. But I'm having a blast painting these miniatures from Atomic Mass Games, playing war games with my friends again, getting back into tabletop gaming, streaming it all, and I can't wait to do more. Looks amazing. Thank you very much. I had a lot of fun painting it. I'm very glad that I got a chance to do it here on the stream. Can't wait to use him this Thursday. Next up will either be Kingpin or Magneto. As you see, they're primed and ready for paint. I'm probably going to end up painting Kingpin either tomorrow or Wednesday to have him ready for my game on Thursday. And pretty soon, once me and Joe can get into a good flow, we may start streaming our war games on Thursday nights. I definitely want to start streaming some sort of RPG on the weekends. My wife had asked. Actually, I've been talking to my wife about doing an RPG. What did I say? I meant Mysterio. I meant Mysterio, not Magneto. I've got Brotherhood of Mutants on my brain. I need to finish out my Spider Foes before I move on to another faction. Been talking to my wife about starting up another RPG with our friends, getting into doing something once a month. And I would like to stream that because I've got a good group of friends that are funny, and I think that everybody else would like to see play. Whoops. But that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. I had a great time painting and getting the Rhino ready for my match, my upcoming match this Thursday. If you had a good time, please like my stream, whether it be on Twitch, on Facebook, or on YouTube. Please share this stream. Check me out on Facebook. I am the Big Bad Nerd Dad. I have a Facebook page where I post daily, answer questions. Message me if you would like to learn more about these products, about my sponsors, the Aegis Creative Company, for Space Cadets Gaming. Joseph Reese, thank you very much for liking the stream. You see me giving a thumbs up. Again, I'm very excited to be back streaming. I'm very excited to be painting and being here with all of y'all. I had a great time. Can't wait to do it again. Hopefully, I'll stream again before the end of the week. If not, I'll see you next Monday. Have a blessed night. I love you all. Walls ahead, rubble behind.